and we've also talked through the 10 avatars. So the Purusha avatars, who are they, and how do they fit into the different incarnations and avatars that we've been looking at? So in the Bhagavad Gita, as it is by Srila Prabhupada, in the purport of 7th chapter, 4th verse, he quotes a verse from the Satvata Tantra, and we can recite this together. Vishnustu trini upani purusha khyani atho vidu ekantu mahata shastra divyam tuanda samsitam dityam sabhabhuta sthanam arnitava mukhyate.
For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahat Tattva. The second, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading super soul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement.
So these are three Vishnus. I think Suresh was asking the other day, what are these three Vishnus? So these are the three Vishnus that we're going to go through today.
Thank you.
Pleasure. You recovered from the One Mantra avatars?
Yes, a little bit. That's why I was quiet yesterday.
Okay, thank you very much. So what does Purush mean? Purush means actually creation or origin. Purush is like the male aspect of the Supreme Lord. Prakriti, on the other side, is that which is enjoyed. Purush means enjoyer. Many, many meanings to Purush. In this respect, it's specifically talking about creation. And it's for the purpose of the material creation that these Purushas are particularly active. They have no other function as such, apart from the creation and assisting within the creation the demigods, the devatas. So you'll be familiar with this diagram. It's a little different from the one we looked at yesterday for the Lila avatars. Just gives a little bit different angle. And we can see how the Purusha avatars fits into the overall spiritual creation. Of course, we have Lord Krishna as, like we discussed it yesterday, is the Swarup group, the original form, from whom the first expansion is Lord Balaram. And then we have the first quadruple expansion of Vasudev, Shankarshan, Kaduna, and Niruddha. From Shankarshan comes the original Narayan, who is the source of the Vaikuntha planets, Lakshmi Narayan, Mahalakshmi. And then from Narayan, we have the expansion of the second Chaturvyu. And if you recall, under the Vilas Prabhav, these second Chaturvyu fall into that category. And then from the Shankarshan of that second Chaturvyu, we have the first Purush avatar, Karanadakshayi Vishnu. And then he expands into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the second Vishnu. And then he expands into the third Vishnu, which is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Thank you. So, Karanadakshayi Vishnu, the first Mahavishnu, he's known as Mahavishnu, the first Vishnu. What does he do? He lies on the casual ocean, which appears in one corner of the spiritual world. You hopefully will be familiar with this diagram, the chart, the Golok chart, where we discussed Golok itself, Ayodhya, we talked about Vaikuntha, and then the Brahmani effulgence, Lord Shiva's abode, Maheshnam, and then we talked about Devidam, the material world. So Mahavishnu he is in one corner. This creation is in one corner. We were discussing how it's not actually at the bottom, it's northeast corner, but so that we can get the diagram to fit nicely, it's shown at the bottom, but actually the creation takes place around here. So he is the Vishnu who will be lying on the casual ocean. And when he exhales, when he breathes out, millions and millions and millions of seed-like universes manifest through the pores of his skin. And this is a small idea of what that might look like. He's lying there, as he's breathing out, from the pores of his skin, literally comes out millions and millions of universes. And we reside in one of those universes, the smallest universe, whereby our Lord Brahma has only 4 heads. This is regarded to be the smallest. There's other universes which are far greater, far bigger, and the Brahmas in those universes have many, many more heads because you need a lot more intelligence to deal with the larger sizes of the universes. And if you recall, okay, let's see if you do recall, how long does his breath last in human years? Would anybody like to answer that question? If you don't answer it, there's no prashadam today, huh?
Can we say 311 trillion, whatever?
Wow. Okay, you get a gulab jamun. Of course, it's a virtual gulab jamun.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
well
you.
done. That's
Am
absolutely.
I right?
Yes, you're right. 311 trillion, and you forgot the small change, 40 billion years. So it's, yeah, that's
My
absolutely.
mind's working today.
Yeah, you've learned well, actually. It's not easy to remember some of these facts and figures. So thank you very much for that. So the Mahatattva is also emanates out of Lord Vishnu, the Pradhan, the unmanifested material elements, which then become manifested as creations, as Mahavishnu glances, as we'll talk about that in a minute. These universes have, if you would recall, 10 coverings. Or was it 8 coverings? I've forgotten how many coverings there are. I think it's 8 coverings, you know? And that's 10. I think each covering is 10 times thicker than the other one. I think it's 8 coverings. That's right. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ether, I think is in there, and the Mahatattva as well. Yeah, that's right. Ego is there as well. So each universe will have these 10 coverings. So it's very difficult to get out of the universe. And if devotees recall, these coverings, actually living entities live there, and it is far more opulent than any of the heavenly planets, and living for a very, very long time, practically the lifespan of the universe itself. And when Mahavishnu glances into material nature, he activates through Rama Devi, he activates material nature through Lord Shiva, and the process will begin. So this is Karadakshay Vishnu. He is the first Vishnu. He is the first Vishnu. So if there are any questions, it's a good time to ask. And we did go through this process of how he glances over Rama Devi, his eternal consort, and then she similarly glances over to Maya Devi, Durga Mata, and activates the material elements. Okay, so that's the first Purusha avatar. Now, every universe that is created, Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters each and every single universe. So there may be millions of universes, each and every universe. Mahavishnu expands as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and he carries with him the living entities who are meant to be in that universe. And he also will be lying on the casual ocean on Anantashesh, another incarnation of the Lord. He's lying on the casual ocean. So this is Garbhadakshayi Vishnu. And Lakshmi Devi is also with him, always, eternally.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I think Garbhodakshin is named after this is a Garbh then.
Yes. Very good. Excellent. That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
And similarly, Karana Dakshaya Vishnu.
Is
Karana.
the ocean.
Correct. Well done. Very, very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. So he lies on the ocean, and through his perspiration, his sweat, half of the universe is filled with water. And what comes from his navel is a lotus flower. And that dissipates the darkness of the universe. On top of that lotus flower is Lord Brahma, the first living being. And if you recall, he is the topmost living being in this particular universe, most qualified to do this work of creation. But when he originally comes into being, he's bewildered. He's not understanding what to do. And he meditates for a long time. He delves into the stem of the lotus and he goes down to the root, but still no joy. He does more tapasya. He hears the word tapa. So he does tapasya, and then finally he gets realization through the heart. And so let's just go through it. This is the lotus, and you can see the 14 planetary systems are actually part of that lotus itself. And at the top, Lord Brahma is the first living entity that was created. And then he, Lord Brahma, is in charge of the secondary creation. The first creation is Lord Vishnu. Secondary creation, Lord Brahma. But he's given that empowerment by Garbhadakshayi Vishnu to create. So the intelligence and the ingredients are all provided to Lord Brahma in order to do this very difficult work of creation. And then we have the third Vishnu. Would anybody like to have a stab at who is this third Vishnu?
Krishna.
He is the source of the Vishnus.
Kshirodakshaya Vishnu.
Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And who is he in particular? What is his function? Yes, sir.
Okay, his function is to enter into all the creation, all the little atoms, the jiva souls as Paramatma, and then just to give energy, and also to accompany the jiva souls.
Excellent, excellent. So Garbhadakshayi Vishnu expands again. His name is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is more commonly known as Paramatma or Super Soul. He basically expands into every single atom.
Prabhuji, there is no sound.
Sorry? Oh, there's no sound. So you can't hear me, huh? Okay.
I can hear you.
Oh, Mataji, it might be you. Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
I can hear it. Well.
Okay. Oh, Karuna, if you come out and
in.
come in. Yeah. So everybody else can hear me.
I
Yes.
can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, and another quality of Vishnu is he's a witness.
Yes. There are 5 or 6, or maybe more actually. Just to let Chitra, let your mother know if she can come out and come in again. She will hopefully get the sound.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, yes. You can hear me now?
I can't hear anything.
Okay. So, Chitra, let your mother know, huh?
Yeah. Okay, problem.
Thank you. Thank you. So, absolutely, Pitambar, witness. Not just witness, but he's also our guide. He's also our protector. And everybody has Paramatma with them. So there are two souls living in this body. One is us, the Jiva, the eternal living entity who's spiritual, but also the Supreme Personality of Godhead is living with us. We are two separate living entities. Some people make the mistake of thinking that this Jivatma is the same as Paramatma. But actually, it's described in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, in all the scriptures that these are two separate living beings. We live in this body, and also the Supreme Lord has joined us in this body out of the kindness of his heart. Whilst we are in this world, in this material world, he will always be with us. Okay. Karuna, you can hear?
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. It's good.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So that is the function of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Always with us, our protector, our witness, and our guide. And he resides also in Shvetadweep, in a planetary system in our universe. He has his own planetary system. And he resides there. And anytime the devatas are in difficulty, they, especially Lord Brahma, will approach Kshirodakshaya Vishnu in this ocean of milk, Shetadeep. So this is a very, very interesting point. So this is the third Vishnu. So the first Vishnu, he breathes, all the universes come out. Second Vishnu goes into every universe. Third Vishnu goes into every atom, every person, every animal, every plant, every bit of grass. And this is a little bit technical. Krishna's energy can also be divided into three. When he exhibits his thinking energy, he's Krishna himself, Supreme Lord. When he exhibits his feeling energy, he's Lord Vasudev. When he exhibits his acting energy, he's Shankarshan. So this is the acting energy through Shankarshan via the Purusha avatars. This is where how the creation is created. Without this thinking, feeling, and acting, there would be no possibility of creation. So both the material and the spiritual worlds are manifestation of the energy of acting, in which Krishna acts in the form of Shankarshan and Balaram. So that's the Purusha avatars. It's a lot less complex than Manvantara avatars or the Leela avatars. Not to say that this is, again, very, very inconceivable. For us to completely understand this is impossible. But this is an idea. Now, this is Paramatma. This is an idea of what Paramatma looks like. And he is regarded to be thumb size. Thumb size. Situated in the region of our heart. So that's Purusha avatars. I wanted to also go through Saktyavesh avatar today, unless there are any questions or any comments on the Purusha avatars. So we've looked at Purusha avatars, we've looked at Das avatars, we've looked at Manvantara avatars, we looked at Leela avatar. Let's have a quick look at Saktyavesh avatar. Again, this is a little bit technical, so I hope I can express myself well enough to deliver what I want to put across. Saktyavesh avatars are generally jivas. Some commentators say that they're always jivas, but actually, from what I understand, they usually are jivas, but they also can be Vishnu Tattva. So there's a difference between Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu Tattva is the Supreme Lord expanding himself, and he's always remaining the Supreme Lord, never under illusion. Jivas, we can become under illusion, and we are under illusion because we are situated in this world. Of course, we are now trying to make some progress of becoming self-realized, understanding who we are, who God is, what's our relationship with him. But we've got some way to go yet. So, Saktyavesh avatars, who are they? They're principally of two types, but then I'm going to show you another two types later on, so please do bear with me a little bit. There's the primary ones, and these are generally Vishnu Tattva, because they are called Bhagavad Avesh. They are regarded to be directly the Lord himself, Shaksha, and they have divine absorption. So Kapil Dev, when he came and he instructed Devahuti, he's regarded to be Saktyavesh avatar, but he's Vishnu Tattva. And similarly, Rishabdev is, he came and instructed his 100 sons, and we will find information about him in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam. And then there's the secondary empowerments, and they, again, may not be all Jiva Tattva. The first two, for example, these secondary empowerments have special qualities that Krishna has empowered them with. And there's 7 types. 7 types. There's the personal service of the Lord, supporting the world. So those two are carried out by Vishnu Tattva. Sheshnag is an expansion of Balaram, as is Anantadev. So both of these personalities are Vishnu Tattva. But they have these secondary empowerments. And they're different as well. Yeah, good point. Then the next 5 are actually all considered to be Jiva Tattva. They're ordinary souls, but God has given them special empowerment, special mercy, so they can do this special work. Creation, Shrishti Shakti, distribution of, that's Lord Brahma, distribution of transcendental knowledge, that's the 4 Kumaras, Jnana Shakti, Bhakti Shakti, that is given to Narad Muni. He's Saktyavesh avatar. And of course, our own Srila Prabhupada. He's also regarded as Saktyavesh avatar. Otherwise, how is it possible for an old man, 70 years old, having 2 heart attacks on the way to America by boat in a 2-month journey across the Atlantic with simply a few personal possessions and 2 trunks of books, to somehow create over the next 14 years a worldwide Hare Krishna movement with 108 temples, initiated over 5,000 disciples, translated over 60 books, some of the hardest books to translate, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, traveled the globe 14 times, over the, 11 years it was, not 14 years. So that is only possible if you have been given some Shakti by the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada falls into this category of Saktyavesh avatar. And if it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada, I dread to even think, even contemplate what I would personally be doing now. So, and then the 6th empowerment is to rule and maintain, and that was given to Prithu, Palana Shakti, and then to deal with the demoniac, it was given to Parshuram. It's the Dushta Damana Shakti. So these are effectively the categories of Saktyavesh avatar. I'm not expecting devotees to remember this. Of course, I'll distribute these notes afterwards. but this is to give you some detail about this particular type of avatar. And where he fits in is, oh, I'm not sure I had that. Anyway, then just to give you a little different angle, although it's very, very similar, just to try to understand it. So we had the primary, secondary. Now we got the direct and indirect. Direct is again where the Lord himself comes, Nonishakta, Shesh and Ananta, two empowered Vishnu Tattvas, specifically for the purpose of serving the Lord and sustaining all the planets. So they are considered Vishnu Tattva, but at the same time, Saktyavesh avatar. And then the indirect are the Jivas, and the example is exactly what we just talked about, the four Kumaras, Narad Muni, Prithu, Parshuram, and Brahma, with the different potencies. This is a little different angle to look at it from. So this is it. We've got the Saktyavesh avatar category here. Can everybody see this? Just to make sure. Yeah. Good. And if you look at Saktyavesh avatar, there's two categories. One is the avatar we've discussed, the living entities who are empowered. But there's also another category called Vibhuti. So this gets a little bit technical. If you're familiar with the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, and I'm thinking next week we'll start the Bhagavad Gita, chapter by chapter. The Vibhuti aspect of Saktyavesh avatar is described in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So we can talk about that. This is where Krishna explains to Arjuna, of the demigods, I am Indra. Of the Rudras, I am Shiva. Of the Yakshas and the Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth. Of the chief priests, I am Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Skanda, the Lord of War. Another name for Skanda is Kartikeya. That's right. Of the great sages, I am Brigu. Of the sages and demigods, I am Narad. Of the singers of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. Among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. So all of those, and there's lots and lots of other categories which Krishna describes in the 10th chapter especially, and 8th chapter as well. So they are all regarded to be Saktyavesh avatar, the Vibhuti aspect of Saktyavesh avatar. So they're like reflections of the Lord's might. So again, empowered by the Supreme Lord. So this is really giving an idea of what Saktyavesh avatar means in totality. It may not be possible to completely understand this, and it definitely won't be, because we are Jivatmas. It's not a problem. We won't go to hell if we don't understand this. It's just good to know, and if you need to refer to this, it's there as reference. But it's not something that you need to memorize or completely understand. Any questions or any comments? Is everybody still with us? Have I put everybody to sleep?
Still here, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Priti. Okay, you're still there. Anything you'd like to add, Priti?
No, it's okay.
Okay. In that case, I think today we could do. I'm just thinking we'd like to actually, if devotees don't mind, we can finish off. We got 3 left: Yuga avatars, we've got Guna avatars, and one more, which is Chaya, a hidden avatar. So we can carry on with that tomorrow. But today we wanted to pray for a very special devotee, if devotees don't mind. His name is His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He's a initiated devotee of Srila Prabhupada. In just before Srila Prabhupada left the planet in 1977, perhaps in late 1976, Bhakti Charu Swami received all three initiations in a very short period of time. The first initiation, the Brahman initiation, and the Sannyas initiation as well. He was very dear to Prabhupada. He served Prabhupada at the end very, very beautifully as his personal servant, together with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He's an acting guru. He's a member of the governing body commission of ISKCON. And he
Originally from Bengal.
is originally from Bengal, that's right, Calcutta. He's a Calcutta man. But he's fallen ill with the COVID-19 virus. He was in Ujjain, and for the purpose of preaching, he went to Orlando 5 days ago, or maybe 6-7 days ago, and unfortunately, he must have caught the virus on the way. Of course, devotees like him are under the personal protection of the Lord. So there's no question of that. He's under the personal protection because he's given everything for the Lord. We've known him for 33 years, yeah. 33, maybe a bit more, because I've known him before that. So we've known him since our marriage, if not a bit before. And I can tell you he's one of the sweetest devotees I've ever met. Really amazing personality. And he's always very friendly. No matter what you've done, he is very forgiving and very, very wonderful personality. So I like to remember him.
We've been fortunate enough to serve him as well.
Yes,
Kadava Ashram.
That's right. And in Mayapur we served him once as well. So. But I'd like to Pitamba. We'll do the Nrsimha Kavach first. Unless there is any questions or comments on Maharaj. He went into hospital yesterday, and he's been put on ventilator. Although in the last few hours, his dependency on the ventilator has dramatically reduced from 90% to 70%. So it's a good sign. Our prayers are really for our own purification, because he's already under the protection of the Lord. But when we pray for others, it purifies us even more. So we want to remember him, want to pray. I'll try to get a picture of him up as well, so that whilst we're singing, we also remember him. So we can add Nrsimha Kavach for him.